The hard part for most people is, do I keep my job, or how do I start a company when I have a job? Most people feel like they need to raise money so they can quit their job.
So do you advocate they quit their job?
No. Worked as a bartender at night, whatever you have to do, that's part of being an entrepreneur. If you have to work on weekends, you have to Uber at night, Uber on weekends, so you have some income coming in so you can work on your company, or you work your regular job during the week, and at night and weekends, that's when you work on your start.
When you make the decision, and I want everybody to hear me on this, even the adults in the room, when you make the decision to do what you want to do with your life, just know this: because the family and the friends in your life do not share your vision, in most cases, they will be the first person to try and talk you out of what you want to do with your life. But know this: only those that can see the invisible can do the impossible. So because they don't see what you see, doesn't mean that you're supposed to settle and not do the things that God has sent you in your mind and your spirit.
To turn nothing into something, you start with ideas and imagination. So imagination, we call it nothing simply because nothing in terms of being tangible, but it is so real, it's almost real. So the first step is to imagine the possibilities. Now here's the second step of turning nothing into something, and that is to believe that what you imagine is possible for you. Here's what we call that second step: faith to believe. Faith is substance. Substance meaning a piece of the real. Now it's not the real, but it is so powerful that it's so close to being real. But it is possible to turn nothing, especially ideas and imagination. Now if you believe that it's possible for you, that substance and evidence becomes so powerful that it now can be turned into reality. Now here's the third step, and that is to go to work and make it real. You go to work and make it a podium. You go to work and make it a hotel. You go to work and make it an enterprise. You go to work and make it good health. You make it tangible. Now here's the last part. It takes the disciplined activity to turn nothing into something finally. Faith without the activity serves no useful purpose, but faith invested into the activity creates reality.
You gotta have a vision for what it is you really, truly want. Not what you think you want or what you should have. I mean, what are most people's New Year's resolutions? I'm gonna stop eating sugar. I'm gonna stop smoking. I'm gonna lose 10 pounds. Problem with that is, it's not very inspiring for most people. It has to be a compelling vision. It's gotta have something that has the power to pull you, not something you have to push yourself to do. Those are two different kinds of motivation. Push requires willpower, and willpower never lasts. What will last is pull. Having something so exciting, so attractive, something you desire so much that you have a hard time going to sleep at night and you get so up early in the morning to rock it and take it to the next level.
Don't wait for nobody to give you your props and respect.
Go out there.
Every true hustler, every real winner, man, if you watch their work ethic, they ain't even got time to hear what you're talking about.
Wow.
I work so much. If I told you how my day started today to I got here, like I literally, when you text me, say when you say I'm running a little late, I was like, thank God, because I still ain't done. I still ain't done doing what I'm doing over here.
Right.
Listen,
that's real.
I'm a hustler.
That's real.
Like when you, like again, like If you don't know that by now, please stay away from it.
That's the story and the spirit of an entrepreneur, and also a big visionary like yourself. And I feel like you look back and, certainly, when you look at very successful entrepreneurs or visionaries, you typically see the one or two ideas that were really big, but you don't see all the ideas that, that didn't stick. But it's that taking that scientific method approach and basically just putting stuff out there, adjusting course. If it works, run with it. If not, just again. And, that's incredible.
Just got off the phone with Wade Foster, who's the CEO of Zapier, and it's recorded. It's going to be on the podcast, so stay tuned for that. But what was so interesting about our interview is a sequence where he talks about going from doing marketing and doing coding and being very involved in the business to suddenly having to manage and be the CEO of a 150-person company because they hit hypergrowth. And I was wondering, how does somebody who obviously goes into entrepreneurship to avoid corporate life deal with being a corporation, becoming the thing that they tried to escape from? And his answer was, you just do it. Trial and error, jumping in and getting it done. I'm sure at first he wasn't the best CEO. He seems like a pretty introverted guy. He learned how to do it. And that's why I wanted to talk about trial and error as a learning technique. There are hundreds of courses, probably thousands of courses on sales. Even this channel, we're about to break 600 videos. Half of them are about cold emailing and sales and that sort of stuff. So if you wanted to sit there and learn as much as possible, you could. You could learn for years, decades even, and not do a thing. When I was back in college thinking about starting a business, I went through so many courses, a bunch of AppSumo courses. I went through running lean. I read all of these books. Sure, it established a little bit of a base, but as soon as I moved to New York and actually started working in startups, everything that I had learned was irrelevant. It didn't matter how much information I read before jumping in, I still had to start from scratch. It's the same with our media company. In order to get our first client, everything that I learned listening to Nerdist, listening to all these podcasts about the media industry, they didn't help at all. The thing that ended up getting us a client was walking up and talking to somebody that had the power to do it. So just cold approaching and cold sales. We'll actually link down in the description to that full story, how we got that first client. But it was trial and error. And it's the same with starting a company. It doesn't matter what people talk about in these videos. I was listening to a lot of Pat Flynn's podcast when I was thinking about entrepreneurship. The guests on these podcasts barely talk about half the stuff you have to deal with as an entrepreneur, and I don't think it's because they don't want to talk about it. Sure, that includes stuff we've talked about in previous videos like lawsuits or taxes or hiring or going through BS HR battles, like trying to have employees stop fighting with each other. That's all normal stuff. But the reason why I think it's not covered is because it's so different for each entrepreneur as well. And you'll see it pretty often. The best people will tell stories from their life to help show a point. And you can learn a lot from those biographies. You can learn a lot from those stories. But the easiest way to learn something is just to do it. You can watch a million cold email teardown videos, but unless you go and actually send an email out and see how people respond, you're not going to get anywhere. You can read every sales book imaginable, but if you're not talking to clients and trying out those techniques, you're not going to sell a single thing. You're watching this video right now, meaning you're on YouTube instead of working. And I know some people find motivation in that, but if you should be working right now, go close a deal, man. Go cold call somebody. Try to get some money in. There's only so much these type of videos can teach you. At the end of the day, you're going to need to go out there and hustle and work, or you're not going to learn much.